Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. This is going to be a week ahead reading for all of my Pisces, my beautiful water signs out there. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. But of course, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. I do post weekly readings for all of these signs, so if there's another sign you'd like to check out, that is also an option. And please hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop new content. I like to speak on the crystals out in the on the desk today. This is Selenite, which I use to kind of receive pure, clear energy and light from above. This is actually a black Obsidian Buddha. Let me see if you guys can actually see it. Which is used to provide protective energy for this reading. And then one of my all-time favorite crystals, black Tourmaline. I actually want to get a bigger one, but this helps to ward off any negative energy that might be at play. Here, when I do these readings, I do want to have as pure, clear, positive energy as possible, so I like to lay out crystals that kind of help to give off that energy. But with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and get right into your reading today, Pisces. This is for your week ahead, but as always, I do like to say that Spirit brings you to this video when you need to hear the message most, so don't let the dates play too big of a role in you watching this video or receiving this message, I should say. I'm going to just adjust the light real quick because it's a little off. Yeah, it's much better. Okay, so I do like to do the reading on screen just so y'all don't think I'm like pulling whatever cards I want to. I do try to have Spirit guide me in the selection of your cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off with what is the energy that Pisces is dealing with this week? Ooh, period, King of Cups. And then what are the obstacles that Pisces may struggle with this week? Got it. The Moon. Where should Pisces focus their energy? Eight of Swords. And what will they need to let go / embrace this week for their highest self? Queen of Pentacles. Where is Spirit wanting them to put a little bit of emphasis and focus? We get the World and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And then where does Pisces need to focus their energy this week? When it comes to their self-care. 10 of Cups. Got it. This is out of order, but got it. Hopefully everything's in screen right there. So this is your spread for this week ahead, Pisces. Just starting with yourself and like the current energy that you have going on. You have the King of Cups, which works pretty well for you guys because it's saying that, especially this week, you're embodying the energy of being that compassionate and kind friend. Like you're the shoulder that your friends can come to and cry on when they need it. And you allow them to kind of do so with open arms. You are definitely someone who, if someone were to like be like, oh, what do you think about so-and-so? They definitely say that you're somebody who's dependable and reliable, and you're kind of just always there for others when they need you to be. And that is something to be proud of. That is something to be honorable of, just because you're the owner. Like you've mastered the emotions and the compassionate being, like you've mastered your emotions, which also allows you to kind of be that compassionate person for others. This week, you're going to be struggling with being spontaneous. Like just from the Moon, you can kind of see like there's two naked people like with wolf masks on, being just like weird. And Spirit is saying this week, Pisces, that for you guys, it's going to be hard for you to do things weird or just be weird, and not even like in a weird way, just be like your true weird self. It seems like that's something you're going to be struggling this week. And that partly might be due to the fact because you're so used to having to be this strong individual for others to lean on that you don't think you can be this individual while embodying your true self and like delving into those parts of you that you really enjoy, but others would probably deem as weird. So Spirit is kind of urging you to work through this obstacle as best as you can. Like, be willing to stay true to you and the things you truly enjoy. And you'll be able to kind of overcome that obstacle. Spirit is saying that it's time to be spontaneous, do something new, do something different, do something like completely out of the box for yourself to kind of open up that realm and that world for you. But while doing that, just also be mindful that being crazy, being weird, doing spontaneous things can also come at a price. Like, you could end up in situations that you obviously weren't trying to get into, like scary situations, which can kind of be emphasized by the monster lurking in the water behind them. But don't let those scary situations stop you from being spontaneous. Spirit is definitely urging you to work on doing so. I'm kind of just getting the vibe that you live a very mundane life, like the same thing day to day. And Spirit just wants you to go out and explore and do things you've never done and try things that you didn't think you would ever try. And where you'll need to focus your energy this week, Pisces, is in freeing yourself from your own shackles, essentially. I think that you're having such a hard time with being spontaneous and just being open to new and different things because of the fact that you think that there's no hope for you. You kind of feel like you're stuck in your ways and like there's no way around just being who you are currently. And honestly, that is the furthest from the truth, in all honesty. With the Eight of Swords, it does like give off the impression that you're like tied, you're bound, like you're surrounded by all these sharp objects. But essentially the Eight of Swords is kind of saying that, like, while you might feel completely tied up and like bound and not in control, you actually are in control. You just have to be willing to put in the effort to really reframe your mind work and get out of that idea that you're hopeless and that you're a lost cause, that like you always have to be this upright, perfect person just to be there for others. Spirit is saying if you kind of focus on getting out of that mindset, getting out of like, I have to be perfect, I have to do this, this, and this to achieve this, and kind of just like wiggle free from the chains that you've honestly allowed yourself to stay in, that'll help you a great deal in being more willing and able to be spontaneous and just your weird true self this week, Pisces. So with this Queen of Pentacles, this is kind of where you have to be able to release or let go of. And ironically enough, Spirit is kind of telling you that you need to kind of let go of that nurturing kind of energy for a bit. You are the person that everyone always comes to when they're in need or when they're down or when they're sad or when they just need advice. And while that's a wonderful thing, and anyone in your life who you're able to do that for is completely lucky and blessed to have you as that individual, Spirit kind of wants you to kind of let go of that a little bit, not necessarily be cold-hearted and mean, but just take some of that nurturing that you're so eager and willing to give to everyone else and kind of start applying that towards yourself. Spirit is saying that, like, yes, being kind does suit you, and that's honestly in your character at the core, so it's not something you can completely get rid of, but just be mindful of how often you're being nurturing and like loving and kind and compassionate to others, especially when your cup isn't really full to necessarily do so. So yeah, this week you're going to have to kind of let go of always having to be the person for someone to come to when they're in need. And honestly, just maybe set better boundaries. Like if you know you yourself were having a horrible day, and then you have like your friend, like 2 or 3 of your friends come to you and like vent to you about their horrible day. Learn to be respectful enough to your friend to be like, hey, I'm so sorry that this is what you're going through, but right now I do not have the capacity to be that person for you right now. I kind of need someone to be that person for me. And as much as I love you, I love myself too. And this is just not something that I am able to give you the attention for at this time. Or something along those lines. Of course, like word it however works best for you. But Spirit is definitely urging you to let go a little bit of that nurturing side of yourself and kind of be a little more selfish, because you're so selfless. You don't really see that how sometimes doing so can harm you when you're like constantly taking on other people's baggage and like hearing what they go through and hearing all the crazy cards they're dealt. While that's really nice that you're doing that for them, you are also kind of hurting yourself in the long run, because like that's energy you're holding on to, that's energy you're bringing home with, that's energy that's on your mind, and that could honestly have a negative impact on all parts of you, all aspects of you, mentally, physically, spiritually. It could just be draining to always be that person. So Spirit is definitely saying that you might want to release being so generous to others, especially when it doesn't serve you. Now, what Spirit kind of wants to just like help remind you of, and where they're kind of helping like work in the background, we have the World and then the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So with the World, Spirit honestly just wants to remind you that you're an amazing person, Pisces. You have always been very hardworking. You've always been kind, compassionate, of course. And you've always honestly overcome all your obstacles. Like even right now, like your obstacle that you'll be struggling with this week is being spontaneous. That's honestly not that bad of an obstacle in the grand scheme of things. And Spirit just wants you to remind you to like acknowledge to yourself that you're an amazing person, and that anyone who is lucky enough to have you in their life should realize that and appreciate that as well, because there's not a lot of people like you. Like someone like you is definitely hard to come by, and Spirit just wants you to take the time to acknowledge this about yourself, and not even like in a cocky way, but in a confident way. Like, yeah, you are that person. You are that ish. You're like literally probably on the top of a lot of people in your lives, like, oh, that's my favorite person list, just because of how genuinely kind and caring and giving you are. And Spirit just wants to urge you to never forget that. I think especially as you start to kind of release that side of you a little bit. I'm not saying completely give up the reins of being a kind person, but I think Spirit just wants to remind you that, hey, like, you're so amazing, and it's okay if you, like have to take a little step back from being that nurturing, generous person if it's for your better good, because you're honestly so amazing, and on anyone in your life who truly loves you and respects you for you will be understanding that, like, hey, I can't always be that person for you. Like, I have some days where all I want to do is go home and curl into a ball and drink some tea, and like today's one of those days. And if there's anyone in your life who can't respect that, then they don't even deserve you, because like I said, you're so amazing that like they would know that you're not saying that, or like you're not saying that, or you're not being nurturing or compassionate out of spite. It's just your tank is really low, and you kind of just need to deal with what you got going on. And then with this 8 of Pentacles, Spirit is kind of saying that you might be either working on a project crazy, like crazy, and not actually seeing any results, or possibly that it's giving, so you might be working on this project and not seeing results that you want to see because you have like this perfectionist mindset. Like you think you have to be the perfect person for everybody. You think that you have to do everything a certain way. And Spirit is kind of urging you here with this Eight of Pentacles in reverse to let go of perfectionism, mostly because perfection does not exist, and you will honestly drive yourself crazy if you are constantly searching for that. I think that's probably, if you're working on like a project right now, that's one of the reasons why your project is kind of like at a standstill, because you want everything to be so pristine that you're not really making progress because nothing is ever really good enough for you. So Spirit just kind of wants to urge you this week, Pisces, to kind of let go of the perfectionism, like allow things to happen as they should when they should. Of course, it's always do your best, but just know that your best is good enough, and what might be perfect to you, honestly, might not even be perfect to somebody else. So I think this week Spirit kind of just wants you to allow things to happen as they should, and just know that everything will work out in the end. And then finally, for where you should be focusing your self-care this week, Pisces, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which kind of is just like the icing on the cake for you for this reading, to be honest, because it's kind of saying like everything in your life is panning out how you want it to and how it should happen. And Spirit is kind of just urging you to like not stress about anything, because there really is nothing to stress about for you, especially in this week, Pisces. Like, things are working in your favor. You're at peace. You have the financial stability that you need and you desire. You are in, or you have like relationships that are truly filled with love. So you're in a really good place right now. And I think Spirit just wants you to take the time to acknowledge that that's the space that you're in, because you do have that tendency to kind of feel hopeless and like lost when it comes to your ideas and goals. And Spirit is saying like, hey, everything is working out for your best good. Everything going on for you right now is it. Like, this is it. Like, things are falling into line perfectly. And Spirit just kind of wants to like urge you to honor the fact that things are working out so well in your life and going how they should. Spirit just wants you to take the time. Sorry, you guys. The battery died. But yeah, we were here at the Ten of Pentacles, and Spirit kind of just wants you to acknowledge all the good that's happening in your life and just like accept it with open arms. Now that we've kind of pulled all your tarot cards for this reading for you this week, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you or two, just to kind of give that overall finer energy, or like final message from Spirit, really, for what will be helpful for you to know this week, to have the best week possible and work towards getting over those obstacles and accepting all the good happening in your life. So we have the Lioness, you've earned all of your stripes, and the Phoenix, how's that for happily ever after? And now these are two very beautiful energies and a perfect way to end your reading, Pisces. With the Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. This is kind of just like a reminder that like you have gone through so much in your life, Pisces, and you have overcome it all. Like, no matter what it is you've been dealt in life, you have handled it with poise and you were able to kind of overcome it, which just speaks to your strengths and explains exactly why everything is kind of working out how it should for you and why you're getting all this good into your life, because of the fact that you've gone through the battles, you've dealt with the struggles and you still came out on top and seen like the good in everything. Is this the whole pen? And seen the good in everything. So Spirit is saying like you deserve all the good that's coming to you, and you just need to allow yourself to accept that and welcome it, to gain it. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the full description for this. So it says, Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. Naturally, sometimes with growth comes a little scarring. You've come incredibly far, and you should be proud of the person you've become. Think of your scars not as a reminder of the pain you've had to endure in the past, but as proof that you can survive anything, because you can. You've done it before, and you can always do it again. So keep that in mind when it comes to you thinking that you're hopeless, because you're really not. You're definitely able to get yourself out of this stagnicity that you allowed yourself to kind of play the role of for a couple of years because you feel like you've had no choice. You have a way out, and you will get through it in due time. Just give yourself grace to get through it. And then we have the Phoenix. We have Phoenix. How's that for happily ever after? I actually kind of love this, so I'm just going to read it verbatim what it says. It says, no matter how hopeless you may be feeling at the moment, know this. You can and will survive whatever trials you've been put through. From the ashes of the past, you shall create a storybook ending filled with beauty and resilience. All future flames will cower when they hear the whispers of your name. And that's just so beautiful, because I think that right now, especially this week, Pisces, you're definitely going to be seeing like the starts of that happily ever after for you. Like everything that you've gone through, everything that you continue to go through has only helped to make you a stronger person. And I think Spirit is just saying that, like, yeah, after all that BS that you had to go through in life, your happy ever after is here. Like, you're rising from the ashes, you're becoming that individual you want to become. And that's something to be proud of. That's something to relish in. And that is what Spirit is urging for you to do this week, Pisces. That is your weekly tarot card reading for this week, Pisces. As always, this message will find you when it needs to find you, when you need to hear it most. But if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And of course, if you'd like to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time that I upload a new video. If this reading resonated with you guys, I'd love to hear what resonated most with you in the comments down below. I love to interact with you guys, and just knowing that these readings are really benefiting my followers or my viewers means a lot to me. So feel free to leave a comment if something did resonate. I do like to say that if it didn't resonate, kind of just take it with a grain of salt. This is a general reading for all Pisces, and there are several different variations of Pisces, and so some of what I said in this reading may have resonated, and some of it may have not. Just take what resonates and leave the rest behind, honestly. But I hope you enjoyed this video today, and feel free to share it with any of your family and friends who you think would enjoy it. But until the next video, guys, I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.